Okay, guys. So today is September 16th. Today is our last class of the week. We are continuing with our objectives for this week. So we had talked about on Monday and Tuesday about triangles. Yesterday we talked about quadrilaterals, and today we're going to talk about polygons. All right, so today you guys are supposed to finish the last little portion of the worksheet because we have done most of it already. All right, we're going to distinguish between angle property theorems, and then we're going to evaluate problems using the angle property theorems. So let's move on with what we're doing today, properties of polygons. Now, what is a polygon? A polygon is defined as a plane shape. A plane shape is a 2D shape, right? As a plane shape or figure bounded by 3 or more sides. So now what does this mean? We talked about triangles, and a triangle has 3 sides. We talked about quadrilaterals, and a quadrilateral has 4 sides. So now a triangle is a type of polygon, a quadrilateral is a type of polygon, and then now we're going to look at bigger polygons like 5 sides, 6 sides, 7 sides, 8 sides, all the way to usually when we go into the next unit, we're going to talk up to 20 sides. But that is the concept. You have a 2D shape that is closed and has 3 or more sides, right? So now, how are polygons classified? And this is, we're just going to skim through this because when we go to the other unit in the following month, then we are going to talk in depth what are these polygons and the properties. So polygons are divided into different sections, and each shape has a different name. So a shape with 3 sides has a name, a shape with 4 sides has a name, a shape with 5 sides, and a shape with 6 sides. So now we have done the triangles and we have done the quadrilaterals, and those are the 3 sides and the 4 sides respectively. A shape with 5 sides is what we call a pentagon. A shape with 6 sides is what we call a hexagon. And we can move in more. A shape with 7 sides is a heptagon, 8 sides octagon, 9 sides nonagon, and 10 sides decagon. And as we continue increasing the number of sides, then we can go ahead and be changing the name. So each shape has a different name. Right? 12 sides has a name, 13 sides has a name, 20 sides has a name, and all of these shapes have a unique name given to them. All right? So now what are the theorems? And this is what we want to concentrate on. This is what we have been talking about this week. What are the property theorems? And the polygons has 2 theorems. So we talked about triangles, and triangles had 4. We talked about quadrilaterals, and quadrilaterals had 2. And now today we're talking about polygons, and polygons have 2 more. So in total, you have 8 theorems that you need to be able to remember and practice. So now the first theorem is, and this one is similar to the quadrilaterals. You have 2 theorems. One talks about interior angles and the other one talks about exterior angles. So the first theorem says the sum of the interior angles of an n-sided polygon. N-sided polygon means that it can be any sides. N could be 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number. Whatever number of sides a polygon has, this is what I'm going to be doing so that I can find the sum of the interior angles. The sum of the interior angles is how much degrees does that shape have. What is the sum of the interior angles of a triangle? Who remembers? Anybody? What is the sum of the interior angles of a triangle? How many degrees does a triangle have in total?
180.
Very good, 180. And that is the sum of the interior angles. What about a quadrilateral? What is the sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral?
360 means
360. Very good, Jerome. 360. And that is the sum of the interior angles. That means that in a triangle, the three angles are supposed to give me 180. In a quadrilateral, the four angles is supposed to give me 360. Now, for polygons, it is unique to each shape. So a shape with five sides, sorry, has a specific magnitude. A shape with seven sides has a specific magnitude. A shape with 10 sides have a specific magnitude. And each one of these shapes, depending on the number of sides, then that is how much degrees that shape is going to have. And this is the formula that we use. We either do the 90 degrees multiplied by 2n minus 4 or 180 degrees multiplied by n minus 2. And we're going to talk about these ones in detail right now. So the formulas are a little bit complicated to use, especially when you do not know, am I going to be using 90 degrees or am I going to be using 180 degrees? So what I did is that I got this table, and this table shows you an easier way for you to remember what is the magnitude of the interior angles inside of a shape. So if we would have been in face to face and in class, I would have made you guys do an activity that I usually make my students do, where I give them all of the shapes and I give them string, and they have to make all of the triangles in a specific shape. Now, because we are virtual, I cannot do that with you guys, but I can give you guys directly what it is that you have to know. Each shape, a triangle, a quadrilateral, a pentagon, a hexagon, a heptagon, an octagon, a nonagon, and a decagon, have a specific number of triangles that make that shape. So if you look at the shapes at the top, how many triangles make a triangle? My first question. How many triangles make a triangle?
one.
Very good. Only one. One triangle makes a triangle. All right. How many triangles make a quadrilateral? So let's say a square. Very good. And as I go increasing, so a pentagon has 3 triangles, a hexagon has 4 triangles, a heptagon has 5 triangles, an octagon has 6 triangles. Now, what does that tell me? Apart from just knowing, sorry about it. Apart from just knowing how many triangles a shape has, we have to know how much degrees that means. So I know, and you everybody is supposed to know this very quickly. A triangle has 180 degrees. So a triangle has 180. If our quadrilateral has 2 triangles, I will do 180 times 2, and that gives me 360. A pentagon has 5 sides, but it has 3 triangles. So I am going to do 3 times 180, and that is going to give me 540. If I have a shape that has 9 sides, it is going to have 7 triangles. So I am going to do 7 times 180. How much will that give me? 7 times 180. Nobody? 7 times 180.
$1,260.
1,260. Very good. And that is what I'm doing. Now, what I have on the last row at the bottom, an n-gon, meaning that any number of sides. And that is a formula. If you take a look at n minus 2 multiplied by 180, that is what is in the previous slide. So this is what is given right here. But this table facilitates you guys understanding what it is that n minus 2 times 180 means. Does anybody have any questions with this? No? Okay.
No. Where can we find that table, miss?
It's in the PowerPoint. I posted the PowerPoint, so you can go way to the bottom in today's lesson, and then the table is going to be there. All right? Then we're gonna move on to theorem number 2. Now, I'm not gonna concentrate on theorem number 2 because it talks about exterior angles, but it basically means the same thing. It says the sum of the exterior angle of an n-sided polygon is 360 degrees. So let me show you guys this right here. So I have a polygon right here, and the interior angles of this polygon all depend on the number of sides. So this one has 5 sides, it has 5 angles, so it's going to have a specific magnitude. If it were 6 angles, it would have a different degree. 7 angles a different degree, 8 angles a different degree, right? But what I want to show you guys in this specific one is that when we talk about the angles on the outside, the exterior angles, always, and this is always, if it has 20, 30, 40, no matter how many sides, the angles on the outside will always equal to 360 degrees. All right, it does not matter. This shape has 5 sides and it gives me 360 degrees. If we go to the other shape, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides, 6 exterior angles, 6 angles on the outside. And when I add all of them should give me 360 degrees. So if I were to do this with a shape that had 9 sides, it would give me 360 degrees. If I had a shape that had 12 sides, all the degrees on the outside will always give me 360 degrees. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Very clear. Yes.
Very, very clear? Extremely clear?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm not going to do this one. I have another game for you guys. We're going to go to the worksheet, right? So you guys should have had copied down the last 3 questions that are in the worksheet, right? Yes? Is this the first one that you have? Make sure that I am showing you the one that is in your worksheet.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So this,
Yes.
okay, very good. These last 3 questions that we're going to talk about right now are very direct. And yes, you need to show the working, right? So the first part, right here, it asks you for the number of sides, right? I'm not sure. Can you guys see that, or should I zoom more?
Zoom little bit. Zoom.
Too much. Okay, like that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So the first one asks you for the number of sides. That's easy. Count how many sides. How many sides does that shape have?
8.
8? 8. And now where the working comes into play is for calculation of the sum of the interior angles. All right. So now this is what I'm going to be doing. I will use the formula that the theorem gives me. The formula says 180 degrees times n minus 2. 180 degrees times n. What is n?
The number of sides.
The number of sides. Very good, David. So in this question, I am going to write 8 minus 2 because n is 8 for this question. For each question, n is going to change, right? So then now I'm going to have 180 degrees times 8 minus 2 gives me 6. So what is 180 times 6?
1080, miss.
1080. Very good. And that is your answer.
Miss,
Yes, Esner?
Miss, this is the first thing. First is down from the others, Miss.
This is the first, this is the question that is in the worksheet. The last three questions, this is the first one of the last three on worksheet number 2. Is somebody still copying or can I move on?
Move on with.
Okay, let me move on. So now this one. How many sides does this shape have?
5.
5 sides. Very good. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the formula 180 times n minus 2. 180 times n. In this case, n is going to be 5. 5 minus 2 gives me 3. And then 180 times 3, how much is that going to give you?
540.
540 degrees. Did everybody else get that?
Yes, Miss. Yes, yes.
Yes? Very good. Let me know when I can move on.
Move on, Miss.
Okay. And then the third one that you have is this one. How many sides?
6.
6. Very good. And I repeat the same thing, same formula, right? 180 degrees times n minus 2. 180 degrees times n in this case is 6. 180 degrees times 6 minus 2 gives me 4. And 180 times 4, what does that give you?
720.
720 degrees. Very good. And that is your answer. Anybody has any questions?
No, Miss. No, Miss, not.
Can I show number 1? Can I show the first one? Let me go back. This one is the first one. Okay, so now the worksheet should be finished by now, right? So everybody should have the worksheet completed because on Tuesday we did the 6 triangle ones. Yesterday we did the 3 quadrilateral ones, and today we're doing the 3 polygon ones. Now, the recordings are in Google Classroom. You guys can go ahead and go back and look at the recording. I will also post this Jamboard in Google Classroom so you guys can go ahead and see it. Those of you that are a package, I will be sending you guys the link to the Jamboard so you guys can look at all of the questions, right? Because this one has all the questions. So let me see. All right, here I have all of the questions already solved that we were solving throughout the week. So if anybody needs to go back and view anyone, then all of them are here. All right? Anybody has any questions? No questions? Sure, crystal clear. If I give you an exam, everybody's gonna pass. Okay, so with the rest of the time, we have about 20 minutes. I have an activity that I have for you guys. We're gonna do. What did I do? Okay, so I'm gonna put the link in the chat. You guys can click on the link, and I will give you the ID code right now. So it should take you to a page that looks like this. It says, "Look at." So this is a new site that I am trying out to see if you guys can play it. My first farmers played it this morning and it worked fine. So let's see if it's gonna work with you guys. It should take you to a page like that, right? And then I'm gonna give you guys the code right now. Okay. So the code is 535472. And again, you will have to click on the link, enter the code, and put your name, right? I'm supposed to have 28 players because there are 28 of you here. Okay, guys. So this game, meanwhile, those of the rest of you are logging in. This game is kind of like a video game. You guys have to respond to the questions, and as you respond to the questions, it gives you awards of gold. All right. As you play, there are other players, so everybody's going to be playing together. Other players can steal your gold or they can swap your gold, right? So that's something that a little part of the game as well. So the game is gonna finish either if I stop it or if everybody together reaches the total amount of points of coins. So that is how the game works, right? Nobody can see if you got an answer correct or if you got an answer wrong. So only you can see your answers and you cannot see anybody else's. So nobody's gonna know if you got an answer correct or wrong. All right? I have 27 players. I'm waiting for one more. Okay, very good. Now I have all of you. So I am going to press start and you guys can begin. answering, guys. Try the questions out. I've so far I only see two persons that are answering.
Where's this thing when I click it down? It doesn't let me pick it, just like they tell me that it's wrong. I don't have the option to like pick which one I want to pick.
You can try coming out and then coming in back, Herbie, because you can come in back again. Maybe that will help.
Because I can't hear you.
You can try logging out and then you log in again because it will allow you to come back in. Right? Maybe that will help.
Mas no puedo tocarle que sí, no,
It doesn't allow you guys. I'm not sure. Let me check. gonna give you guys like 2 or 3 more minutes, right? And then I'm gonna stop the game. Okay, guys. So, I'm not sure why it wasn't working for some of you. I did try it this morning with my first one, and it was working fine. But maybe it's my internet at school. Maybe that's the reason why you guys are having problems. I apologize for those of you that couldn't go into the game or it wasn't working well for you. Um, but you can play the game if you would like to try it out. And you can play it solo. I had it on class view. Um, so if anybody would like to try it, then it will be there for you guys to play. So let me stop sharing. Okay, guys. So now we have finished the second worksheet together. All of you should have all of them. So I'm supposed to see full marks for everybody for those worksheets. And then also I did explain the first worksheet, the first assignment. So everybody should be working or finished working on that first one. All right. I did tell you guys that you had to take care of your gold because they were gonna steal your gold. So
Mr. Game Thief, it is for half a boy when you got. Pero siempre soy first, so nadie me ganó.
Okay, guys.
Provide Tommy Oro.
So now, that was one game, and the program that I used had different games, but I decided to try that one first today. I did try it, like I said, with my first round, and they were as well talking about other students stealing from them. I could not see what you guys are doing, so that's the only part that I don't like. I can't see what you guys are doing. I can only see when somebody steals from somebody else or when somebody swaps gold. That's all I can see. And then right now, after the game, I can see how many questions you got correct and how many questions you got wrong. So that's how the game works. But if we have time next week or any other week where we finish the content early, then maybe we can play the game for the entire session and see who can get the first place of the total points. All right, but that will be it for this week, guys. I hope you have a great rest of day, a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend, and be safe. Right, stick to the regulations, the new regulations for COVID. So you guys are free to leave, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.